Greetings to you. This is Dr. Eros Trismegistus. And this twilight, we're still going to talk about wickedness, evil against good righteousness. But on the surface, it will not seem that it's related. Now, towards myself, I am not really, I believe that they got into they dug their own hole with this. But I'm going to tell you the true meaning of Kal-El, the Ubermensch, above men. Very interesting because I think there was only one actor who played him in the movies, Dean of the House of Cain, who has connections towards Israel or the Tanya. Now, nobody seems to get the significance of insulting. What's this big movement to degenerate Kal-El of all champions, the Ubermensch, the superior, above man is what Superman means. And to get into that with that 777, take a look at this. This is coming up, and this is satanic. It doesn't seem like it because of Prita of people's religions. But they hear somebody on Google starting these statements, and it's been going on since after the 2112, since after the planet was supposed to end in the prophecy of the calendar. A planet did end, the Olympians calendar, the calendar of the Olympians. A world ended, the Olympians world ended. But that's the topic towards another video. Now, prior to get started, if you like that, if you want to subscribe, you don't have to, because this data is towards you. I'm not trying to get spinning units, cash out of you. This is given just pure. You like it? That means that you're a champion, most likely, or you do have some gleam still within you in this shadow moment. So, if you don't like it, well, as I already says, most likely they'll pick Batman or the Joker. Now, the reason I just said here, they say they think Superman just sucks and is the most overpowered or something. Who do some people call Superman boring? So I'm thinking here this person is saying boring. Now, these are the same people who seem to like the Joker, which is supposed to represent Dionysus, Enoch, Metatron, back at Set, anarchy, and takeover. And here it says, we're bringing Superman such a boring character. Who is the lamest superhero of all moment? And does Superman have any flaws? They determine a champion by their flaws. And in some issues, they even try to get Kal-El to do the drinking drugs to corrupt him. What the reason is a smear campaign issue against Superman. And his name means above man. Here they said that he is lame because lame is a code word of weakness. This hasn't been going on forever. This has been kind of recent. He is lame because he has no audience appeal, because he is the pinnacle of perfection. And they want their characters they connect with to be weak and flawed. See, they're trying to trick you. Now, anybody who's biblical and cares about their soul and not into the pride of a religion, which gives them that broad chest and that hubris, they'll figure out that that's Kal-El. The reason that people are trying to start instigate this hype to turn people away of Kal-El, we say they call him that super, but he's not a man, so it's wrong to say man. In the aspect, super means above, so he's above a man. What becomes above a man? Use your good sense. Above a man is a god. I'm sure that these people are already aware of this. So they're trying, satanic people, the side of Aries, Becquerel, Cosmo to Saturn. They recognize that he's perfect, and perfect is the letos, and to the Greeks is stilettos. and they're telling that they want their champion flawed. Do you remember a certain quote that he got killed, a son of God got slain, he who was aware of no sin, he who knew no sin, he who laid with no wrong, no evil, no wickedness, who was perfect. There's only a couple who have been called that. Hermes, Michael, who's stilettos. Monogenes has the Christos, has the one of Nazareth, or Emmanuel. And the Adama. So they want them to be flawed or something wrong with them. And whoever's the same group is out there on Google attacking this stuff. Now, this is someone, he's lame. They say he's lame because he never made a deal with the devil, because he stands for his truth, righteousness, and justice. Now, originally, he fought against thugs and the Ku Klux Klan, but you don't see brown-skinned people in the United States supporting him because they want to perceive that he's a pink-skinned mortal. But Jimmy Olsen is a pink-skinned mortal, and he's adopted. He represents an immigrant. So, and you also keep in mind that if you want to get past that part, let's talk about the holy part of it, the part that's interesting. Now, these actors quickly want to, this is on Google, so you could do this yourselves. They quickly want to fill in these aspects of him that looks like this, like with the body posture, the muscle, the meaty, and they miss the whole soul of it. And none of these actors are even the Tanaim. Translates as lesson ones. It means touched by a lesser elite, not so much social status. And it's the Israel, the Hebrew people who are getting dishonored most in this, and those who claim to be into the Christos. Since Kal-El, this Clark Kent, they rarely prefer him mortal, which is a secret way. In the DC Comics, he represents the Son of God. They claim that these people on Google are doing satanic stuff. Lex Luthor has the bald head, and you see General Zod is representing Hitler-type people, and that's Fiennes, or Brainiac, in the body of Milton Fiennes, who's supposed to be a scientist. Evolution, Darwin. He's supposed to be Darwinism, saying that people are. Originally, Darwinism said that people came of an animal. They evolved of an animal. They later added the monkey part when I think they found in Nubian lands at that moment certain skin racisms with mortals. And the bald head represents Lex Luthor, is supposed to represent the skinhead, Noxie. That's the reason Lex Luthor has the bald head. That's the reason that you keep seeing this. But nobody never discusses this aspect as if it's taboo or they want to reinvent it as something else. There's a true move to corrupt Kal-El, because Kal-El is supposed to be the Christos. He got killed and got resurrected fighting against Doomsday. He could see the soul, but people want to focus on his abilities, not what he's about. Originally, the S on the chest. Now, Christopher Reeves got this. The Cavill movie brought into it, but it wasn't exactly clear, because one should note that if he's Superman, if he's Kal-El and gets his power from the sun, his skin would be brazen, not snowy. So this kind of turned a lot of people off because of the racism that the publishers had to go through, and they were Israel or Hebrew writers about it. And somebody commented that they didn't know Hebrew. There's a true effort to deconstruct and break Superman, Kal-El, down, because Kal-El stands for truth, and he's supposed to be the Christos. The S on his chest originally stood for sex. You notice his trunks is red, and his shoes are red, and his cape is red. Red is towards the Desir, which means, and the Azul represents control. The S originally stands for sex, and the yellow means positive sex, or the energy of sex. The heat vision is supposed to be about arousal. But I'm not going to tell you all those abilities about it. because that's not for cosplay people, and that's not for people who just want to dress up and try to make him something he's not. You got brown skinned people trying to say that he's a pink skinned person because they're racism. They don't see that he's standing towards the soul. Now, the later renditions of the character, they said that he stands for hope. That means he would have had an H on his chest or a E for Elipis, but that's a S. Later it says for the sun because of taboos. Now the reason that Gerald Siegel and Schuster had to play it this way because, and this also doesn't get discussed by none of these comic experts on none of these sites or on Google or even on YouTube. They're supposed to be so experts, but they always seem to leave out the fact that the writers of Kal-El and comic books, Stan Loeber or Stan Lee, they got threatened by the Ku Klux Klan and racial supremacist groups. So he was forced to add a yellow mane to Thor and not make Kal-El brown skin, even though he's not a Nubian. He represents the elves. So, but they had faith that the people would see the quality and the content, and then they would still be able to see past that. Comic book characters have colorful outfits because use your good sense. The race should not matter. And nobody reads comic books in the past until recently, some point in the 20 solstices ago, have been trying to add a racism in there, starting with Thor. But in the actuality, they shouldn't have to have a Val-Zod be this brown-skinned Nubian looking. Because there was Econ, by the way, and that never got brought up. But this is an insult to these Hebrews, Israel, or Arabic, and you owe so much to these people because they took away their beliefs. They're using their Bible, their testaments, their names, and calling them the enemies who killed a son of God, the one of Nazareth. Even though it was Romans, it was followers of Apollo who killed him. I mean, well, here we go. He controls his desire. He controls his sexual potency. That's what his outfit means. And if someone says he's lame, then they just need to don't buy into it. Be very careful. He's the light of the world. Kal-El means light God. Or they try to say, for those who don't want another God, they'll try to say the word of God, which would be the Logos. He speaks towards God. And I'll get this to you. Hold on a moment. Here's some racism towards you. Here it is. This is on Google, and someone says Jor means no stuff and Kal means leet. The opposite of heavy. No, it means leet. He's talking about the sun, the leet. They'll deny any part of this. His name means light God. There is no weight involved. If that was the case, there would have been weightless or said it. If it was not so, he would have said it. And this one's going to continue to say he seriously doubt that people had any meaning of it. Now, so much for the racism. They want to say he's a Kryptonian. Kryptonian, Jor-El is his biological father. They'll say the superficial version of it instead of saying the truth. Instead of giving honor where it's due. Because Kal-El is not a Kryptonian, he's a god. He's from the heaven. Kryptonian is a metaphor for that. And kryptonite means a crypt, as in crypt keeper. He's allergic to bodies of people who are not living. He's a living being because he has a soul. The S on his chest stands for soul. And he's proof of that because he uses the power of sex. The red vision, the intensity, the desire to go, he goes where he chooses, where he desires to go. He has red thong on his trunks, which they try and take off and just give pants. This is done by United States people who later on had racial point of views and gained satanic mindsets and thinking, and attempted to turn away from the House of Apollo and religion disguised as actually not so much attacking religion, they more so just attacking gods outright. So in truth, they're not aiming to attack religion. They're using it as a preface just to attack God's children, gods and God's kin, and those who believe in them. They're subtly making Bruce Wayne seem more cool with the spikes, the bat on his head, getting people to like dogs and not God. Even attacking Kal-El, making his children, even though this should not have no bearing on any of it, but those Israel and Hebrew people, or those who were made, which is what Hebrew means. The people of jewels is the people, as in jewel, the elite. People who worship the elite. That's what jewels are. Kal-El was written by a Jewish, Israel-oriented people of Arabia. It was written by two young guys from there, and they were instead focused on the Christos aspect. They'll try to even say that he's Moses, even though he doesn't lead the people. One of the stuff in the comments, Kal-El never wants to step in the position of leadership, and he doesn't speak to a blazing bush. So that's not it at all. His outfit, Kal-El, his father name is Jor, and they'll claim it has no meaning. But if one studies linguistics, they know that back in the past in Egypt and Hebrew, O is it could be transversed into a U. So if you type in or, it has no meaning. But if you type in JOR, you'll come up with no stuff. But if you type in JUR, as it's meant to, you'll get Hur El. Or El is the way it's pronounced. Or El, not Jor El. It's Or El or Ur-El. Ur-El has in Uriel. And it means the rule, the law. So, and he's three people through the run of the character. Kal-El means light God. His father is the promise or the rule, the ruling God, or the Father in the heaven. The Logos, the voice of God was Hermes. And to the Greeks and to the edge of his thoth, or Mikael. Now, what proof is that? Nothing more than this image that you're seeing there. Hold on a moment. Make sure you look at the outfit. This is the reason that they're attacking Kal-El and try to corrupt him. It seems to have nothing to do with it. Trying to make him, using the name, trying to kill him off now. Most likely, they try to kill him off because if they kill him off in that dimension, then it has above, has below, has without, has within, then the wicked and satanic think they can weaken Mikael. Uranus Anu is the Kal-El of Earth 2 with the wheat hair. And then there's Kal-El, who's became the one of still in the 80s after the Crisis of Infinite Earths, when John Bryan took the reins. And that's Zeus at that point. And then there's Superboy. And Superboy is of Earth Prima, or Smallville. That's Hermes, Mikael, Thoth, Ningazita. Pay attention to this outfit. You've seen this before. That's the colors of the Gabruvas, by the way. He's also Doctor Strange. Same colors, same curl, except he has a goatee. They corrupted him too by giving Doctor Strange, or Kal-El in that version, whose temple was the elite, the fortress of solitude, went to the snow. He has the breath, the shields of the seraphim. He soars with the cloak of levitation. But in the comments, for copyright purposes, they'll say that he is against magic, but he's not against magic. He's against witchcraft. Now pay attention to that outfit. It's the high god Mikael. So satanic people, they could get someone to attack Kal-El and degrade him, even making his son into a liker of men, which is against those Israel or Arabic people. Is to make sure that, and he's standing above men, and he's also staying on the wicked. To attack Kal-El is to actually attack Mikael, the word of God. He was perfect. So these people are saying that are satanic, and they're into the wicked ones, and they're trying to deceive those who are in ignorance about who these characters actually are. Now, Mikael, Hermes, Thoth, Ningazita, Quetzalcoatl, Ingwe, Lug, Finesse, he comes out as a couple of these characters. He was the idea of the champion. So Kal-El wasn't made in the 30s. Even the June 38th was the date that they prescribed that he was created. But Mikael, this painting, the character itself was made long ago, and this painting came out in like the 1500s or 1400s. So, but on Google, whoever's writing the stuff, not Google themselves, but somebody saw a way to slither in and to deconstruct it, because if they could give them a date later than that, they could make him mortal, and they try to turn him mortal, then they could kill him. So there's attacks by some of the children of these publishers and company owners of those comic book places. They most likely engaged in forgotten their ancestors, forgotten what their father and their great parents was doing in that business, and they were trying to save souls in these comic books. Champions are colored people, but they're people who has a soul. The colors represent elite. They're children of the elite. So all this talk to corrupt these comic book people, start getting them drinking the drinking drugs, beers, or to give them. They had Supergirl smoking the green drug, and then the Justice League movie at the end, they had the violet. I could make another video for that. They had the violet, purple Kush, the violet Kush. To legalize the green drug was the message in the Justice League movie at the end. In case anybody missed the Snyder's addiction of it, the plant that was growing supposed to represent, and they're nodding. The Justice League was nodding to say that legalize the green drug, or purple Kush, which is marijuana, or the green drug. They're used the champions to promote their ideas. Kal-El in name only. Now they're trying to depower him because they're trying to get people to turn against any stuff godly. Now, you don't have to have a religion per se, and you don't have to be into the House of Apollo, but it's everybody's duty, even their cosplay or not. Besides this Yellow Man, Azul Pupil, or Cloud Man, Wicked Locks, and gender bias stuff, or sexuality. Everybody who originally read the comic books was way distant of racism. They were the ones who were actually against it. So that still should be honored now, but raising comics from 75 cents to 5 spinning units and 99 cents, or just to make a new movie and not doing it with the soul and not honoring these beliefs, this is insultuous. And this is the way that the devil gets people, by their preta. This way Satan labors, by their preta. And I'm not even with the House of Apollo. I'm not with Muslims. I'm not with any particular one group. But I am towards making guarantee that the truth, righteousness, goodness, compassion, beauty shine. And it's all beings. It's all gods, men, no matter what they are, extraterrestrial. It's all their beings' duty to stand in and vanquish evil wickedness, wherever it may stand and heed. And this is the premise that comics was based off of. But instead, these ones who inherited these companies are using it to put satanic ideas and to deconstruct and tear their culture apart. Maybe they got paid to do it, but they sold their souls, and they're attacking the masses through their ignorance. It's no secret that Mikael is Hermes. That we're aware of. But did you know that Hermes is Thoth? stand towards these champions, but to stop treating it as if there's some fabrications. That's insultuous. The Justice League is supposed to be the Seraphos, not the United Nations. And the Avengers are supposed to be the champions of Jason, Ulysses, and so on and so on. Anybody who's godly will protect these characters, stop this corruption, and save themselves in the process. And so this is the reason that they attack these champions. They attack them. They're attacking Kal-El because they're trying to take away the lead of the world. So evil, dark side, wicked side could come. Being woke means being aware. 777.